This is Lesson 0.2, Classroom Procedures and Student Expectations during Self-Paced Learning. The lesson objectives are to explain the classroom procedures regarding mastery checks and what to do if you need to revise a mastery check, understand how I will review and provide feedback on your practice activity and mastery checks, and to explain the student expectations and on-task behavior during self-paced learning time. A quick review. What is a modern classroom? Remember, there are three main components. The first one is the blended learning aspect. This means you're learning through videos, in person, on your Chromebook. There are guided notes that go with these videos. This also gives more time for me to give you support as a student. The second component is it's self-paced, which means it's paced according to target due dates. You can easily get behind, but you can also get ahead. You know those target due dates because with your personal progress tracker, you know what's coming up in the lesson unit, and this also makes it easier for you to collaborate with others. Then there is the mastery-based component. That means you're graded based on the mastery of the lesson content. You are responsible for your learning, and the final artwork that you create for each unit is a culmination of what you have learned. Now, my expectations for you during instructional videos, which is what you're doing right now, the first thing is we need to remove all of the distractions. You really only need this video and Canvas that should be open. You don't have music playing. We're not playing on our phones. Yes, you have your earbuds and headphones in to listen, but you should be listening to the video, not multitasking with other videos. You should be following along with the video to complete the guided notes. If you get stuck or you lose focus, you check your notes or pause the video. And we need to pay attention to what you need to do for the guided notes. Not all the information in the slideshow appears in your guided notes. You need to be aware of that. And guided notes are not graded. I just check them for completion and accuracy, which means, did you get all the information I wanted you to have? Now, during self-paced learning time, my expectations are you should come to class prepared, which means you have your headphones, earbuds, and your Chromebook. You should be focused during the instructional videos. You should show respect for people and classroom materials because you have a lot of materials you get to use, and you're working towards mastery. That is an expectation I have for you, as well as communicating with others and your teacher. If you don't communicate with me, that makes it harder for me to help you. Now, how do you know when things are due or when are they coming up? Remember, you do have a personal progress tracker. This is a very important document that you should have taped inside your sketchbook. And you can see here that this one actually tells you this is the target due dates. This is when you should be finishing it up. So each lesson has a target due date. If you don't meet the due date, you will fall behind pace, but you can still complete each lesson because everything is still there. Now, all assessments within a unit must be completed by the end of that unit deadline, which is different from the due dates for art projects. I know it sounds a little confusing, but the art projects are the things where you're making the art versus just watching a video and taking some notes. Now, I do have, be aware that the lessons and units do eventually close in Canvas because self-pacing doesn't mean you just have forever. There are logistics in the school year. We have the end of the semester. We have the end of the school year. We have the end of the grading periods. We need to end at some point. So make sure you're checking your personal progress tracker for reminders. And yes, in the classroom, we might be on different lessons, but we'll always be on the same unit of study together. Now, the units have a hard deadline. There's an ending, but the projects, which is the artwork that you're making, they have a due date, and then you also have that 1 week grace period to get it turned in. When a unit is closed, that means it's closed, and you got to work with me to get it open again. And if you have any zeros, they're going to remain when that unit closes. Now, this is an example of a past module in Canvas. This was for lesson unit 4, and you can see that I have the lessons actually listed, and this is what you would literally see in your progress tracker, and you can see how they're organized. You have Edpuzzles here, and you can see for 4.1 there are 2 puzzles that you're completing. There's also a page for the practice activity, and you can tell that this one actually has a video included in case if you're not sure what to do. And then there's a page here for the mastery check. This is just the spot for me to give you credit in the grade book, like proof that you did it. Now notice that in order to move on from the 4.1 Ed puzzle, you have to actually submit the assignment. So if you get to something like this and it's locked, please do not come to me and say, Ms. J, can you unlock it? I'm going to tell you, well, did you do the previous thing in the module to get it unlocked? Now, there are some things you need to know when you're maneuvering through these parts in our module. If you see something that says submit, it means you have to literally submit the assignment in Canvas in order to move on through the module. If you don't submit it, it will remain locked. Now, if it says view, that means you must view the page in Canvas in order to move through the module. You just really have to open up the page. And this example here has a video that I would want you to watch. And then some of them will say mark done, which means you have to mark the page as done in order to move through the module. So I was having you mark 5.4 mastery check as done, and there's literally a button that you click on and then you keep moving through. So during self-paced learning time, which is what you're doing right now, what does that routine typically look like in our classroom? So we usually begin traditional, all as a group with a do now activity in your sketchbook. I will also provide any announcements you need to know, reminders. Sometimes I throw in a little demonstration that I want to do live in front of everyone. And then I would say, okay, it's time for self-paced learning. If you're beginning a new lesson, you are literally starting. If you're in the middle of a lesson, you just pick up where you left off. And this is where you'll be finding your guided notes and other important papers. You can see there's some packets with drawings on there. They're my grading rubric. You can see how it's literally labeled with the lesson. So if you're looking for certain guided notes, hey, look, it's labeled right there. And this one as well in the picture, you can see there's examples of drawings. There might be some worksheets you need to do. I put all that out there as students are ready. So once you've shown me that you've completed your practice activity, you're going to prepare for the mastery. You might want to look over the information in the practice activity first. Now your mastery check will happen either on paper or using art materials. Just depends what I need you to learn. And once you pass the mastery check, I will let you know, and then you get to move on to the next lesson. You don't have to wait for the rest of the class to finish. So there are some things to keep in mind about our guided notes. It's the most important information from the lesson. They're non-negotiable. You have to do them. They must be completed, but they help prepare you for the practice activity. Can you use your notes during the practice activity? Yes, you can. Mastery checks, they are silent, independent, no phones, no notes. It's like a quiz, but I think of it like a progress check. I'm checking your progress of your learning. It's summative. It might be with paper. It might be hands-on with art supplies.